copy from Zoom if that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So sick, dude. Well, congrats on the successful launch, man. It was exciting from my end. I'm sure even more from yours.
It was absolutely wild. It's again, you work on something for so long and you always like worry halfway through. You're like, did we become jaded? Like, are we the only ones that think this is cool or whatnot?
Right.
So it was really fun to see everybody so excited and then get it out there. And, folks are jumping on. I'm looking to just set up like the Clean Gang channel and we've got a
Oh
couple others
yeah.
going up and
I wanted to ask
everyone's
you,
having fun.
how do you feel about the factions and everything that everybody's like started to make already?
I mean, we knew like Fanny Pack Gang was going to be a thing.
Right.
And then seeing like Clean Gang came in and all the others. And that's what's cool is we have that holder verification tool and I can set up on the back end, like if you have this attribute that you gain access to this channel and you have to have, a gold Dronie to access that or whatnot. Like we can figure out what those will be. But it allows us to do all that stuff. So it's really, really fun.
That is so awesome. So for anybody out there who might watch this video, because I do plan on putting it on YouTube, how would you explain to them an NFT and more so Dronies, like for a beginner?
Yeah. So I would say one, check out solanaplaybook.com. That was a site that we built that does walk through a lot of that. But I think, you can look at NFTs a couple of different ways and for a lot of different purposes. So an NFT can be, in the case of like our collection, on one hand, it's a profile picture or PFP collection where it's got really fun artwork. A lot of people really love and enjoy having them to showcase the particular avatar. And that becomes like your Twitter or your Facebook or your Discord image. And some projects, it's as simple as that. And that's all that there might be. At the same time, NFTs also, because it has that verified ownership, like, sure, can you right click and save the image that I use and use it yourself? Yeah, but it can be shown that I'm the one that has that. And if there are things that those NFT holders get access to, your right click save doesn't get you access to those. And that's where, we've got members of our community that, are really awesome people. Sometimes you might find that maybe there's celebrities in a Discord or in a chat, that there's, big crypto VC people or what, like people that are building really cool things in the space. And that in the past, you could often say, how could I, as Peter, ever get in the same room as these individuals? And now through the purchase of maybe an NFT, you can do that as well. They can also gain you access to different tools, utilities, services, etc. that by holding that, it's like an all access pass to those types of things too. We're also seeing NFTs used for things like, what was it just the other day in Florida, somebody did the first home sale as an NFT. So that transaction was done as an NFT purchase, and it's wild. And so you can see all these things of like home record sales and marriage licenses and all these things that you need a verified kind of chain of custody to ensure that I know who owns what. You can do that through an NFT. Like we might do contracts and asset handoff as a design agency through NFTs, and that verifies that now we don't own those things anymore. The client now owns that. So there's a lot of cool things that they can be used for.
Absolutely. And that was the whole thing. Like for my friends that aren't in this crypto space and they don't really understand it, but they're like, you paid how much for a JPEG? And I'm like, oh, here we go, dude. Like, it's just like a knife in the heart. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I'm like, there's all this stuff. And then they're like, yeah, but like, what about all this rug pull I hear? And I'm like, oh, here we go, man. It's like, yeah, of course, all the bad stuff that happens, like worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. On one hand, I've made a lot more, and I say this if anyone's watching, they're like, yeah, well, you just sold out an NFT. No. Outside of Dronies, I have made more through buying and selling NFTs than I did in the stock market this year. Like it was more lucrative there. But at the same time, like you said, with projects, it's where we try to do a lot of this of teaching people different things of, what to look out for, what to be careful with. Like we were heavily, like, I don't know that you could get more docs than us. We had a couple of verification services reaching out to us being like, hey, use us and we'll verify all the things. And I was like, I honestly don't think we need it. We have public partnerships. We are,
Right.
you know who I am. I've stated like
Yeah.
more or less where I live.
Right.
I can't get more docs than this.
Right.
But yeah, you do see that a lot of these projects that are doing some really shady things. We just met. I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to repeat some of the conversation stuff, but like we just met with a really cool project that we really like. And we were having those conversations together about like how things like the royalty or the staking mechanic, like so much in this space is also just like hype driven.
Right.
And even if you take the majority of projects that have insanely high volume of sales, and even if you were to say that would be a royalty that gets split amongst holders, it's like, cool. So someone paid $20,000 for their NFT to make like $200 for the year in a royalty. Like,
Right.
why? But like people still pump that as like, this is a good reason to do it. And it doesn't make any sense. So like looking for those projects that are really building real things, that are building tools or services that you want to get access to, that are really good and genuine communities, you know, you got to pay attention. Otherwise, yeah, we all hear about the bad stuff and less about
Right.
the good stuff.
Like, dude, what did you think about the Balloonsville thing? Did you see all those posts on Twitter?
I did. And at the same time, that was like immediately after our mint. So like my headspace still is not in other projects yet. I'm still so focused on all of our logistics right after the launch. But yeah, I mean, it sounded like, from what I understand, it's at least the second time that this group of people have done this, because they did it with a past project, they said. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's just
It's
crazy.
horrible.
And then they went back and they doubled down and they revamped the Balloonsville 2 now. And then Magic Eden like even forgave him. I was like, what is happening?
Well, I thought it was that Magic Eden took over and Balloonsville 2 is now Magic Eden. I could be wrong.
Oh, is that it? I
I
don't
think
know,
Magic Eden was like, this was so bad, we're going to try to fix it and make it legitimate again and take things over. So I think that's what happened, but I could be totally wrong.
Well, if that's what happened, then good on Magic Eden. And like, cause like I supported them, like I've used them. I actually just bought my first Dronie off the secondary market last night.
Nice.
It was like 2.9 Sol. So I was like,
yeah,
it's a discount. Let's do it. But
yeah, like, no, 100. We were looking at it yesterday. I was like, there's only like 5 on, like it's a really thin floor before it jumps back up to like 3.25 to 3.5. So there's some good deals out there right now.
Absolutely. I saw there was the Alien Matter color for like 2.8. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how did I miss that? I was so
that's a major steal or a typo. That
yeah.
I
was like, dude, there's no way. Like, who would let that go for that price? But
well, and that's stuff where I don't know what they're going to be yet, but I see in a lot of collections where those more rare attributes are typically like the sub DAOs that get set up within a project. Like there's the Alien Newt DAO and Pesky Penguins, and that's a pretty exclusive club to be in. And there's some really cool people that are in that. I know I keep eyeing like an Alien Penguin just to get into that group. I have a friend in there, and like it has helped them tremendously being a part of that. I know there's like Howdy DAO with SMB and things like that, that if you have a cowboy hat, you're in that club. And so I'm curious, like what those attributes will kind of naturally form in our community, because certain things like an Alien Matter is one of them. It's a more rare trait. And so that might become something that becomes that exclusive access. So yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities right now.
Dude, I was so happy when I minted a skater Dronie, like one with the skateboard on the back. I was like, let's go, because I skateboard in real life. So that's why when I saw this one for 2.9 and it had a skateboard, I was like, let's go. You're on the team.
Thing is, like, I don't mean to put down anyone that's like super into, what rank or rarity do I have. I'm personally I like to buy NFTs that I like, and sometimes that's rarity number 5. Sometimes it's rarity number 9,800, and who cares? And I think we're seeing that where actually more of the sales, if you watch the sales bot, I feel like have been kind of middle of the pack sales. Like they're they're in the 5 to 9 soul range, and it's people buying the things that they're like, I just really like that one.
Right.
And whether it's clean or it looks like them, or some folks are like, I like bow hunting, and so they're grabbing the ones with the bows, whatever it
Right. Right.
is. So it's just cool to see people enjoy the collection. And it was really important to us that they liked the artwork across the board, and that we weren't a collection where if you didn't have one of the top 10% in rarity, that it was like, oh, I didn't get anything good and
Right.
this stinks. Like, again,
Right.
doesn't matter what number it is, you should enjoy it.
Right. Right. So that being said, would you recommend if somebody was looking to actually like, expand their collection, have a decent collection, do you think that they should look for different dronies that have different features? Like, instead of like aiming for one that's all clean or like any kind of specific section, like you think it's good to keep it like, I don't know, kind of like all over the board a little bit?
I mean, it can be.
And
Again,
will that play into the storyline if you have like a decent army? That's what I'm curious about too.
I will say this: there's possibility, like there's so many different possibilities that can happen based on the storyline and based on how we see the community taking to different things, that some of those could happen. Some of it might be, like I said, kind of these exclusive alpha groups pop up where it's like, you've got to have the alien matter, you've got to have a gold Dronie to be a part of that club, you got to have a taco bandana, that one's super, super rare. All those kinds of things. And so I don't know. I personally have kind of been diversifying. I was like, okay, I need to make sure I have gold, I have alien matter, I have silver, I have kind of like one of every trait, and I've been buying them up accordingly, because I don't know where it's going to be. And we're actually trying not to like try to influence it and be like, okay, let's start this thing. Like, we want to see what the community is going to do and balance. And so whatever that ends up being, I want to be a part of it. So I've got a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day too, it's like, I find the best buys that I've had that have been ones that I've either held on to because I love them, or if I got a couple and I end up selling one or two, I buy the things that I like, because chances are if I like it, someone else is. Because like you said, I like you're a skater, chances are other people also are too. And so if you have a cool skater Dronie, then someone else is going to think it's cool, and they're going to want to buy it. So
dude, I always try to get those threads going on Twitter. I'm like, yo, who's got a skater Dronie, or who's got what? Like, let's go. And like everybody starts blasting posts. Like, I love that.
No, it's fun to see that in every collection, that those different kind of tribes form. And like our merch team is already starting to build merch based on some of those
I am
groups. So
when that merch drops, dude, I'm gonna be buying everything.
it's really cool. Like the same thing, we're doing all the premium products, we're doing as a pre-order, because we can do higher quality print production if we do it that way. And it was funny, we're joking around, we're like, we're gonna hit the minimum on everyone, because all 31 people at our company are gonna buy all of them, because we all like what it is that we're making. So we're like more than already halfway there to hit the minimum orders. But the merch is going to be really cool. I'm hoping that launches tomorrow. Actually, I think Dave and I are just trying to MVP version of the site. I think we're going to launch like 2 premium prints, a bunch of staple items, or a handful of staple items, I should say. We'll keep adding more. And then probably every maybe like 2 weeks, we'll do another like pre-order run of different merchandise. So it'd be really cool.
Okay, cool. Well, I did have a couple questions I wanted to fire off on you. So, because I know we only got like 15 minutes left, right?
Yeah.
So, I was actually curious, when Soul dropped, were you guys prepared for that? Like, did you guys have like that, how you guys rolled it out? Was that already like the back burner plan? Because I know when I joined, Soul was much higher, and I think the mint date was the 24th of January, and then it was the 26th, and then it was February 2nd. So the other thing was February 2nd, was there any, like, were you guys definitely set on the 2nd, or was that just where it happened?
So I think that's kind of where it had happened, because originally we were the week before. And it's one of those, like, if I could go back in time, I was like, that was like the one move I made where I got really reactionary, rather than like, okay, let's stop, let's plan it out, like, let's do all of our normal stuff. Because what happened was, I had Solana contact me on Saturday morning and go, you guys need to be prepared to push the date back. Like the network is not running the way it should. It's too slow. This is going to be a really bad and infuriating mint for users if we mint while the transactions per second are as low as they are. And like, we're rolling out a network fix, but we're not expecting this to be done by the time of your mint. So like you need to move the date. And so I kind of just immediately went with, all right, like we're moving the date. Like this is happening because we didn't want to have this horrible experience, because I had tried minting projects that week. I think I tried minting 4 different projects. I didn't get a single one to go through because of the network issues. And I was like, I don't want this to be our experience. And people, because people don't go, oh, just the network had issues. And that's like, people then like hate on the project of like, you guys suck and you didn't do this well and it wasn't smooth, even though we have no control over that. And so
people look for the first person to blame.
Yeah. So we moved that, and then we definitely did not expect the SOL price to dip. And it wasn't just SOL, it was everything. Like Bitcoin went down to what, like 32, Ethereum, like everything across the board was down almost like 50%. And that was not something that we foresaw at all. And I don't know, you could argue like maybe we should have, but we were again so focused on the project, we weren't necessarily like paying super close attention to everything going on in the market and news that might have had some kind of upcoming impact or whatnot. But yeah, the announcement, I think it was like the announcement around the feds of like what they were doing with interest rates and printing more money and whatnot, like really threw everything for a loop. And that was tough. I mean, we lost a lot of sleep that week trying to figure out what to do, because, you know, at the same time, when we announced like what our roadmap is, the funding needed to do it, we're literally in a double-edged sword of not having a good option, because we've made such a point of, we're going to be a team that executes our roadmap. We're going to build the roadmap. And then here comes this event where our funding got cut like 35%. So then we had to go, okay, do we tick off people and, you know, or the fear of ticking off people and raise the mint price, which I think everyone thought we were going to like really raise it. We raised it like $20. So it wasn't anything that, you know, had a major impact. $20 is still $20, but I think folks were expecting like $150, a $200 increase. And
that's what I was preparing for.
Yeah, no, we didn't want to do that. But it was this balance of like, okay, the fear of raising the price, no matter what the number. And then at the same time, if we didn't raise the price, well, then it lost the whole purpose of the project of building out the roadmap. And so then people excited about the roadmap are going to go, well, I don't know if I want to buy in because I don't know if they'll be able to do it. And so it put us in this really hard spot. And I mean, honestly, we got feedback, I want to say for the most part, was really, really positive. And the community really understood it. But we had folks that went, yes, this is 100% the right decision and we should do it. And then we had people that like, again, we raised it about $20 and we had people telling us we were the greediest people on the planet and we didn't need the money for the roadmap. We were just lining our pockets. And then we're like, you realize like 90% of the funds are going into the roadmap and execution. Like we didn't make that much on this as a whole, but like we have to be able to build this. Otherwise we're just another PFP collection and we're not building the things that we talked about. So I think we made a pretty good compromise. And even though it only went up a little bit, the way capital gains taxes work, it actually saved us a ton of money in the future of where we want Solana to climb back up to where we're kind of back to even of where we planned. So I feel really good about it. And, you know, we'll gotta wait a little bit and let the SOL build up, but we're in a good spot.
Good, man. That's awesome. I'm definitely happy to hear that. So let's see. Oh, I also wanted to see, would you be able to rate my Dronies? I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, let's do it.
Opinion on my Dronies. All right. So do you want me to just tell you what they are, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to screen share it, or if you want to pull it up share? And yeah.
Oh, wait. Let me find the window. Here we go. Ah, yeah. Look at that. Share screen. Share. Where are we? Where am I? There we go. So I got these 4 here.
Okay, so your
This is the
first
one I
one,
grabbed last night.
yeah, the first one you have, that was actually in our team Slack, and everyone was like oohing and awing over it. And I can't remember if it was right after the sale or before, and someone was posting it like, "Oh, this one's so good," and like the colors of how the nuclear reactor and then the pilot shades
It's my favorite.
work. That one's super cool. And every time I see it, I go like, "Oh, I remember our team like geeking out over that one."
Yeah.
So it makes me happy. And then let's see. I think the 2 top ones that you have are that one and the other one that you picked up, because I know I don't have it off the top of my head, but I know any of the beaks with fries are like really rare. Like I think it's like under 1% or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dude,
those
the
ones are super
googly
cool.
eyes are rare too.
They are, and you know what's funny is that like this goes back to, again, what is everybody like?
Right.
And like I'm sure there's people that are like, I don't like it, it looks derpy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, I love it, it looks derpy, and
Yeah.
it makes them laugh and happy. And I love how that one's like kind of this goofy astronaut, but you know,
He's got the riot shield, the
yeah,
backpack.
yeah, I love the smiley face on the backpack. No, I think it's awesome.
Dude, he's my rarest one.
Is he really?
Yeah, his
What?
like rank wise, he's what was he? 144, I think. Hold on, I'll pull it
Oh
up.
geez.
Yeah, and the one that you were talking about, he's 911.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Let's see.
And that's the thing, and that's where I go back to like ranking and rarity means what you want it to mean. And I know these are going to get updated because we minted the full collection now, and so all of these are going to get sorry, I'll try to stay in frame as I go up. All of these are going to get updated with any that got remained or that are now added into the collection too.
So the remaining 500, they're out.
They're out, yes. So they just need to update the rarity tools, do another sweep of the collection, and we might see some things like adjust a couple numbers would be my guess.
Okay. Is there any more one of ones?
I think there were 4 more or 5 more that hadn't gotten minted in the first pass. So those will get added in there as well.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, so he's 911. And then the derpy one, 4106. Dude, that bar keeps dropping down and it won't let me click the window.
Oh, I know. I hate that when you're like, go very carefully.
What did I say it was 4106?
I think that's it. Yep.
Yeah,
dang.
Rank 44. I was like, no way.
Yeah. And I forget which one, because if you go back to how rare is, and then I think if you go on the bottom left, so yeah, there's statistical rarity, and I don't understand if you turn that off what it does, but I know the numbers are considerably different. Yeah, like it goes to 439 there, and I don't know why. Because I know that how rare is does allow you to like send in a request to say we want something weighted differently than something else, and we didn't do any of that. We just sent the collection. So
right,
I don't know the math.
Yeah, googly eyes, it says it's 0.59%.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. I don't know, I love him. Like, he definitely grew on me. The other funny thing is I told my tattoo artist about this, and I told him the 3 that I mint I want to get inked on me. So he's like, all right, let's do it.
It's so wild. So we've been doing design stuff for a really long time. I don't think anybody has ever tattooed like, and we recently had a project up on the Jumbotron at the Atlanta Braves stadium. We've had stuff on billboards, on buildings, etc. And then it wasn't until Dronies when Zach was the first one who got a Dronies tattoo, and then
dude, I remember else
got another one. So it's like it's kind of mind blowing for us to see people, do that. Like that's awesome. So it's super fun to see it. We're just glad people are enjoying it, and we're hard at work and getting everything, built out. We're going to be hiring and adding more people to the team, and continuing to build out stuff that wasn't included on the original roadmap just because we want it to exist as well.
Right.
And so we're finishing out all the logistics for that stuff this week and middle of next week. And while we're, you know, working on more like story and lore and game mechanics for everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's going to be a really fun, I think next like 3 to 6 months as kind of some of the initial roadmap items start getting out there. And then, you know, some of them are going to take a bit longer, but yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, nice, dude. Hey, before we head out, I also wanted to show you, I made my own NFT like a couple months ago, and it's actually a skate clip of me at this spot in Jersey. It's called Long Branch.
Nice.
But yeah, it was something. It's on OpenSea. But do you have an Ethereum wallet?
I do. Yeah.
I was actually going to gift you this NFT because
Awesome, man.
yeah, like I don't know, I think it's fitting with Dronies and like it'd be cool to give something back. So my
Yeah,
skateboard and NFT.
I'll shoot you over your my address. And I
Awesome.
think this is where it's going to be cool. I mean, I know there've been a lot of rumors about Solana NFTs coming to OpenSea. I think that'll be really cool if that happens, and is going to be a big game changer with stuff. And I think we're going to see more stuff like this too, where not just generative collections, but like one-off, you know, photographers, videographers being able to share this. I think kind of how we've seen stock photo and video marketplaces where, like, I mean, you could sell something like this as a stock asset, and every time it gets utilized, you know, there could be a royalty. Like you could do something where I'm sure somebody's going to build this at some point where every time this video plays on a website, you make, you know, sorry, my dog's all whiny.
Hey, no worries.
You make a penny or whatever it might
Mhm.
be. I think it's just a matter of time until this stuff starts happening. And that's where, as a designer, a creator that, you know, is building this kind of stuff, um, it's giving a ton of um, power back to the creators. Like we've always had to rely on different tools and services to, you know, make a fraction of the earnings of the work that we do to get out on other marketplaces and stuff like this. Like,
Mhm.
you know, you hear those deals. Like, what was it? Uh, was it Indiana Jones that Harrison Ford? I could be totally wrong on this, but I want to say he might have struck a deal. Oh no, it was it The Shining?
Oh, I don't know.
And he got paid by having like a percent ownership in the rights or the royalties for it. And it's
Hmm.
like one of the highest paid roles of all time, not because of the 5 or 10 or $50 million that they made on the movie, as most actors are paid, but
Right.
because of the royalties of it, they've made a ridiculous amount of money over time. And so I think that's where it can be really interesting for, you know, creators that, yeah, every time your image loads on a website or you know, is played or whatever, is like that can all be monitored through
Yeah,
NFTs, and it's just really interesting.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're wrapping things up, but another thing too I wanted to say, I know like with the mint and that little issue you guys had with allowing other people to mint at the wrong
Hmm.
time. If you guys have anything where like you want to run some crash tests and you need some volunteers, I would definitely volunteer. I'm here to help out any way that I can, like, because I really support your guys' whole everything, like the roadmap, the project. Like I think Unfold's great. Like I watched a bunch of your videos on YouTube. And I was like, wow, these guys are awesome. So I fully support the company. Any way I could help, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's again, we're gonna be adding more mods, and I think you and I have talked about that a little bit already.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, again, the thing that happened with minting was technically out of our control. It was something that it was a setting misconfiguration, you know, and something that Jordan had, and he was awesome and tweeted about it. It was like, hey, I made a mistake. It's all good. Mistakes
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
You know, we were like quietly panicking on the back end because we were afraid that we weren't going to have any mints left going into the public mint because of it, but we ended up having a little bit. So I think
Right.
we had like 1,600 or so going into
Hmm.
that. But yeah, you know, I think that's the thing is, just like any project, and we do this in our design work, like you make mistakes, you learn from it, and then you go, how do we make sure that that thing never happens again? And we will always remember to double check that area of a
Hmm.
contract and make sure that that is dialed in correctly. So you know, we did a whole team retrospective the other day of like the whole process, each, you know, brand team, web team, product team, illustration team. What do we do again? What do we go further on? What do we modify that didn't go well? How do we like keep our work-life balance in better check in the future? Because it got really nutty at the end, like stuff like that. And you know, you learn from it, and that's how you become better. So, you know, mistakes can either be looked at as like a failure, or it can be like, cool, I made the mistake. How do I
Right.
fix
Learn
everything
from
going
it.
forward and learn? So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, man. And hopefully I'll be hearing from you soon.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we'll be chatting. Thanks for being a part of the community. Thanks for chatting today. And
course.
we'll chat again soon.
Say what up, Nico. Say what up, Nico. Are we gonna try and play with the mic now? So, just following up after the chat with Peter, gifted him my NFT that I made, and now he owns it. So sick. It's pretty dope because I made this a couple months ago, and I got a Dronie that has a skateboard, so now this just, I feel like it's fitting. It's my way of saying thanks and show how much I appreciate about the whole Dronies project. So I love that. It's so sick. I love that that's an NFT, and I love that Peter has it. And hopefully one day he can sell it and make him a lot of money. And there'll be NFTs of you skateboarding. What do you think?